The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Gentlemen, welcome into another live edition of the Corner Booth Podcast. I'm your host, Jared Klim, alongside Matt Ortazzo, the TikTok Viking, the proud Jets fan, the winner of New York, and my fellow happy Eagles fan. Good hello, happy Victory Monday to you, Christopher, our intern, Mr. Chris. We're out here relaxing. Fellas, I had something happen to me this weekend that's never happened in the history of my life. I don't know if I should play the lottery or something. All four of my major sports teams won Saturday and Sunday.
And you put it into a parlay.
That means I did, except I fucked up. I got greedy and tried to do same-game parlays.
It's always, yep.
What killed me was the fucking Hurricanes had to just give me a goddamn stroke on Saturday. But besides that, my Timberwolves won. Diamondbacks stomped the fucking Rangers. And then my Eagles just proved once again that Ron Rivera should just go retire and live on a farm somewhere in Virginia.
Do you see that? I don't know if it's on DraftKings. It's on FanDuel. They have a Sports Equinox bet for today. So
yeah, I was going to place like $1 on it or something like that just for fun. But
I did a really low end cheap, I did a money line for the Lions. I did Lions, Golden Knights, Celtics. Was it Celtics? Yeah, Celtics and your team, D-backs. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. Well, it's only like $40. That's a payout if it hits. It's something small, but I did do a little Monday night one we can talk about when we get towards that.
There we go.
But look at us, a couple gabagools on a Monday night victory.
Gabagool. Yo, listen, I'm not going to lie. I left work for the first time in like a month where I didn't want to punch a hole in a wall, and that was like the craziest thing in the fucking world. I was explaining to my uncle. I was calling him the ride home. Shout out to my uncle who always listens to the show. And I explained to my boss, I was like, listen, it's just because like I had a lot of bad habits, right? And I'm like, man, I had a great weekend. Like I all my teams won. I just had a bopping Halloween party. I matched with a cute girl on Hinge, and I didn't leave work wanting to punch somebody. I was like, this is great. Fuck, I should go like do something ballsy, see what happens.
It's mischief night over here in Philadelphia. I don't know.
You still do that?
No, I used to do it when I was a teenager, but
no, not like you, but like they still do that out there around this time. It was big when I was probably in high school and stuff, but and
me
younger,
too. I was
it went once I got into college, it died down with everybody.
Yeah,
to be fair, we also were in college when we said it died, so it might still be big. We just don't know because we're old now.
Yeah,
we're
that is
so
true.
old, all of us.
The one thing I never did was I never egged anybody's house because I always thought if I would hate to be that person that has to clean that up. So I don't want the karma of having it happen to me when I get my own place. So I'll stick to the good old TP. Just let the rain wash it out.
Yeah, I was the TP guy too. I'd just throw TP at their house and think it was the funniest thing.
I would swap political signs. So Democrats and whatever, I would be that guy.
I was a pumpkin stealer.
I only did it because it's technically a felony, but I only did it because I knew both neighbors. I knew they would both get a kick out of it. So that's the only reason I did it. But my dad didn't know they were in on it, so when I did it and he drove by and he swapped all the signs, dude, he went fucking ballistic. It was fucking awesome. But other than that, yeah, no, it was just a good time. I very enjoyed Mischief Night the 3 times I actually attempted it. There was one time I tried to do it when I was dating this chick in high school, and she was not about me doing anything. But she's like, that's somebody's property. I'm like, why do you got to be like this?
It's like, you're not going to do it. Just let me do it.
Yeah, why are you? Oh, my God. So, yeah, no, I mean, listen, all I know is Mischief Night. It's I feel like Mischief Night, once you get to down south and shit, is just got to get sketchy because, I make a joke about everyone in my, a lot of my town are very pro 2A. And it's just I feel like down south, you just step over somebody's tripwire somewhere in some backwoods freaking town. I feel like we don't hear more stories about kids just stepping into booby traps on fucking Mischief Night. I feel like this might have a horror movie, but at the same time, it's I feel like nowadays people don't like when their property gets fucked with. So I feel like Mischief Night's kind of just lost its luster. I'm not sure though. I'm too old.
Yeah, it was big when I was younger. Now there's just this park down the street from my grandmother's house that always gets TP'd and everything. And I think that's just at this point in time, the police and everybody are just like we're aware that this park's going to get hit. We'll just deal with it later. That's pretty much
Yeah.
how I
I
did
feel like
pick up.
this time it's kind of just like you're like, whatever.
I did last second pick up my costume for this year. Not going anywhere. We're going to be at the house. My dad does a little haunted garage thing. He lets all the people to walk through, and then all the adults drink the spikes, cider and everything. But I'm going to be a giant blow up of the Mr. State puffed marshmallow from Ghostbusters.
Nice.
Oh,
Nice.
nice.
But he's going to be a one of the Ghostbuster people. Now I'm going to walk around. Dude, that thing came with a vacuum seal thing, and I had to put batteries in it, and it inflates and it keeps the air pumping, so like you stay cool, but like it just always stays puffy.
The
And
air circulating. That's okay.
and then the fucking mask is terrible because it's so loose. There's no way to tighten it, so I can't see out of it really. But thankfully, I don't have to walk anywhere. I'm just gonna stand there.
The worst.
Go.
I was just saying the worst for me this year was I was Luigi, and I had a zipper in the back. So anytime I'm drinking, so like sometimes when I'm drinking, I got to pee a lot. So anytime I had to pee, I had to completely take off the costume, and then just go to the bathroom and then put it back on. And the problem is can't pull this. It's kind of hard to pull the zipper, when it's on your back. So kind of have to.
You just made me realize I'm gonna have that exact same issue tomorrow because the zip's in the back and there's nothing in the front for me. Yep. So I'm screwed.
There should be.
What you're not realizing is that you can make a small button-up hole and seal it. Or big idea here. You have a Mountain Dew bag or a Mountain Dew bottle, and you just tie it off, and you say, "Fuck it, I got easy access the whole night."
I was gonna say like a piss tube.
Yeah, that's basically it's basically like a catheter, but a comfortable one.
The catheter. Oh, use that. Yeah, that's a good investment for Halloween costumes. We gotta pitch that idea. We gotta take that one to Shark Tank.
Halloween costume set. Yo, listen, I'm not gonna lie. Like my costume wasn't. I was the wolf from that Puss in Boots movie because my sister and my brother-in-law were Puss in Boots, and Kate. They were like, "Can you be the villain?" I'm like, "Sure." And also, I didn't realize the mask was too small for my big ass noggin, so that was the problem. I found this really badass looking wolf skull mask. It looks so cool. And I put on my big ass fucking head. I'm like, oh my God, it's like this big on me. It looks like I had like a little face suckers from fucking Alien on my face. I was so undersized. I was like, damn it.
Oh my God.
You should have either been Laura Farquaad or the gingerbread man.
Nah, because I want me. I can't do. I as much as I try to do humor costumes every year, I end up looking. I'm like, yeah, fuck this shit.
See, that's what I was. I went into Party City and I was like, I want something simple and stupid, something that I just throw on and that's it. And that was what that was. I just didn't know I had to inflate it, but here we are. I already paid for it. And I can't bring it back.
So. I saw guys wearing skirts at my Halloween party. I saw one wear a corset and like just for costumes. It was funny. It was a good time. Yeah, no. The guy wearing the corset, literally him and his girlfriend drew up the costume, and it was fucking hysterical. And he killed it. He won the costume. If there was a costume contest, he ran away with that shit. At one point, I call him the fairy drag mother, but I feel like that's just a little out there at this point.
Well, we had the other day. Apparently, New Haven had the Halloween bar crawl, and we didn't know anything about
good time.
So we decided to go downtown to get some tacos and stuff to just have some dinner. And we made a reservation and everything. And I get there and I park and I look out and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And it's just crowds of people in random costumes. So I'm walking through the crowd trying to get to the restaurant. And everybody's like laughing, having a good time.
It was
it was Te Amos. And
Oh yeah, that's packed around. There's bars everywhere in that fucking section.
Well, I didn't know. Oh yeah, that street was blocked off, but I didn't even know it was a bar crawl that day. So we're trying to get there, and I'm passing. People are having a great time. Then I see a woman lying on the ground in the hands of her friend, and the friend is screaming and crying, and the other one's just drunk out of her mind. Cops and everybody around there. Then there's another guy having a big dilemma, and it's like I'm walking through a party and I feel like I'm seeing like slow motion war flashbacks from like Band of Brothers mixed in with like a zombie apocalypse theme because everybody's in a costume. And I was like, I don't know what the hell. And I get to the place and they're like, yeah, we're not taking reservations. I was like, but I made it online. You didn't block it. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry. You have to pay $20 to get in. I'm like, so $20 to get in, and then I got to pay you for your food. He's like, yeah, we're only doing appetizers. I was like, well, you're not getting my $20 then. So we got sushi in like some other town, but
I
it was
feel
just
I feel like you won there. I feel like you won that situation.
Oh, yeah. It was what I experienced was like Band of Brothers mixed with Zombieland. It was insane.
Dude, I had a situation where I was it was Halloween weekend like 2 years ago. We were going down to Center City, and like at like when it's like 1 like 2 a.m. the only because we wanted to get a cheesesteak, and the only places that are open for a cheesesteak in Philadelphia at like 2 a.m. is Geno's, which is the tourist spot. And I fucking hate Geno's.
Geno's is disgusting. I will not hear anything other than that.
It's so nasty.
Geno's and Max is terrible, right? They say don't go to those places.
Pat's, no, you go to Pat's for the fries. It's like the dumbest fucking thing on the planet. It makes no sense.
But so more of the story was we were just chilling in line, and then this car pulls up, and this guy comes out, and he's just he's running around screaming, and all of a sudden he just takes his clothes off, and he's just doing laps around Geno's like he's Will Ferrell and Old School. And I'm like,
I know which section. I've been in that section of the city twice now, and I know exactly which. Was he going like the back around where it gets like a little dark on the corner, and then it
yeah, he goes from the dark to the light. So it's like a mysterious. It's like a mysterious man just fucking yelling.
You don't know. At Geno's, there is literally a spot where like there's no light that comes in the corner, so he runs in. And I could just see him coming out buck naked out of the shadow, like a fucking really drunk, perverted Batman.
Dude, I couldn't believe it, dude. The guy just opens his door, and all you just hear is a dude screaming, and I'm like, all right, I mean, it's normal. It's probably drunk, and he just takes his clothes off, and he just starts running like 400s around Geno's.
At that point,
that dude's living his best life. And who's living his best life yesterday was fucking Will Levis, man. I'm gonna transition to football because holy fuck, that's how you beat an ex-girlfriend to the winner's circle. Hell fucking yeah. Your girl dumped you for Morgan Wallen's weirdo looking ass. Hell yeah. Just go chuck 4 bombs to old Uncle DeAndre Hopkins and Westbrook Nico, whatever his name is, the guy with 4 last names. Receiver for the Titans. Will Levis, by the way, looked incredible. Just was flicking the ball 60 yards. And I was just like, oh, fuck. See, I have been a Will Levis fan, not because he's from Connecticut. I just like quarterbacks who just, when they just throw it, it looks effortless. And I'm like, this dude is way too good. This dude has way too much like raw talent not to be good eventually, right? And so I want to ask you boys, because we all saw the tapes last night. I mean, so listen, that first one, the hop, where AJ Terrell tries to ride him out of bounds and Hop just gave him a little okey doke and he got back, he stayed in bounds. But some of the other throws, like listen, his completion percentage wasn't great, but I feel like after that one throw, Mike Vrabel said, "Fuck it, just throw the ball around the yard. We're winning."
I didn't get to see the entirety of the game, but I did see apparently Taylor Heineke came in. I don't know if Desmond Ridder got hurt.
Yeah, Ridder's hurt, so he's got a concussion. He's got
Heineke came in and 175 and a touchdown. But Will Levis, that was insane. 19 for 29, 238 yards and 4 touchdowns.
I love how his girlfriend broke up with him because like she got like a Burger King brand deal, and then like Will Levis just comes out and throws 4 TDs like it's nothing.
Well,
so he
looks like he also dumped him from Morgan Wallen allegedly. I don't give a shit about all that crap. All I know is he got dumped. Dude comes out and goes full fucking villain mode and just rips the fucking the Falcons' heart out.
Dude, the revenge story is incredible. We got to make a movie about Will Levis.
Yo. Okay, so here's the thing, right? So we talk about the both Southern divisions in football are such a clusterfuck that, like, honestly, Like
I
the
love
Titans
chaos.
the Titans could sneak in ass backwards into the playoffs. And the fact of the matter is, we were talking 2 days ago that that they were apparently going to deal him. So Derrick Henry and DeAndre Hopkins are both in the injury report according to Rap Sheet. Now,
Great.
I don't know how this is going to go because I don't know. Like, are they injury report because they're about to get dealt? Or are they injury report because they're actually a little banged up and they're not getting dealt? I don't know how they're going to roll with this right now because Ryan Tannehill looked fucking horrible this year. Malik Willis shouldn't be a pro football quarterback. He'd be an amazing XFL quarterback. Like Malik Willis is like what he is to me. What could be like RG3 meets Zach Wilson meets like Russell Wilson meets I don't fucking know what we thought Ryan Leaf was going to be in the XFL. Just like a great like highlight reel quarterback. I watched like 4 plays of Willis, and then they went to Levis. I believe it was 4 or 2, whatever the fuck it was. And then I watched enough last year and watched me and Matt take the lowest passing yards over we'd ever seen at plus 77 yards. This doofus passed for 71.
I remember that.
I
I was
mean,
like, how could somebody not cover the over on that?
They
Malik
finally found a
Willis-
quarterback who could throw.
Malik Willis, great guy, actually as a person, but just not a good pro football quarterback. But with all the improvisation and slinging around the XFL/USFL now that they're merging for the spring, which I'm actually very excited for, I'm not going to lie. That many teams, that much competition, that's going to be fucking fun. Anyway, also now there's not 2 leagues anymore. It's going to be so much better.
Yeah. Nice.
We will do a full XFL USFL preview because I want me and the boys to do our research this year. Because honestly, last year ended up being pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie. I won some money on that shit. But back to the task at hand, Will Levis just slinging the pill around. They're not out of it. The Colts are kind of meh. The Texans are kind of a year or 2 away. The Jags are the Jags. They're good. But that AFC wildcard picture is so fucking wide open, man. Like, Mike Vrabes turns it around and makes him not terrible. I don't know. Like,
I mean, they're 3-4. You've got the who is it? Pittsburgh's 4-3. I think the Ravens are like 5-2. The Jets are 4-3. Yeah, Kenny Pickett's injured. Mitchell Trubisky did what he does best and throws the game away.
Oh my god!
But the Bengals as well are, I don't know what they are, 4-4, 4-3. But there's a lot of 4-3 and 5-2 teams right now, and them being 3-4, I guess you really got to sit down and just analyze. Like, listen, the deadline is tomorrow. Are we selling the team? Are we fire selling DeAndre Hopkins and Derrick Henry, or are we going to roll with everybody and say that Will Levis is the savior that we needed at quarterback, and we're going to take our chances and try and get a wild card spot? They have a great problem because Will Levis gave them such a good performance the other day that it really makes them have to sit down and think, like, do we throw the season away, or do we see if this is the spark that we actually need? So I'll be interested to see what they do before tomorrow's deadline. There should be a lot of moving pieces. I mean, the Giants already started selling off. I heard the Buffalo might be in on Adoree Jackson. I know they just sent Leonard Williams to the Seahawks, which that was a fantastic. They did deal him?
I think they did get Adoree Jackson.
I thought I saw that it was.
Yeah, Chris, go check. I'm also starting to hear rumors now. Like, this is way too early. Nobody's confirmed anything. But apparently Jameis to the Vikings might be a thing now.
Yeah, I did see that.
Fucking awesome. Are you
honestly?
Jameis in the dome with J Jets when he comes back. KJ Osborne and fucking Addison.
He's still gonna throw. Second half of the season, he'll still wind up throwing at least like 12 or 14 interceptions. But
no, he'll throw like 20 interceptions and like 40 touchdowns in like a half season.
I think Jacoby Brissett would be a good pickup for anybody right now too.
Adoree's still at Buffalo or with the Giants.
Okay, See, what they got for Leonard Williams, I thought was a steal. They got a second this year's or 2024 second and a 2025 fifth, I believe it was. But for a guy in his contract year, he's a free agent in 4 months, and you got 2 draft picks for him, 2 high end draft picks. I mean, 5th round picks, you can still get a nice hit on that, but a second round's premium. So I think they got good compensation with that.
Rest in peace for the Giants fans who were talking all that shit in the preseason.
Oh man. Oh, you should see the videos
What
on Twitter.
happened? I thought you guys were gonna win the division.
The coldest quote
you
that I
guys were better
saw.
than Philly and Dallas. What happened?
The coldest quote that I saw from the other day was, I guess Zach Wilson said 24 seconds, no problem. And
Yo, I saw that shit. I was just like, Chris, that should have been quote of the week, by the way, in our write-up.
Yeah, I gotta update that.
Yeah,
Dude.
Quote of the week from Zach Wilson, 24 seconds, no problem.
You know
There's
what?
about 45 billion memes you could make from that quote from any aspect of life. But, dude, that is the coldest fucking quote. Because let's be honest. Now, we'll talk. We're going to do the one-sentence game in about 5 minutes. So, you guys – so, Chris, this is your first time. This is your debut at the one-sentence game. It's very simple. You get 25 seconds to rip off – actually, no, we'll do 20. 20 seconds to rip off a sentence about the game that took place. It could be funny. It could be pissed off. It could be sad, happy, gloating, whatever you want. So in 5 minutes, we're going to kick this off, and you are going to make your one-sentence game debut because, honestly, I can't wait to see the fucking shit you come up with. Matt and me are grizzled vets. As much as I love Mason, he used to be like a pro. He used to be able to get up to like 24 seconds and stop. And then towards the end of last season, he'd go like 15 to 30 seconds fucking over. I fucking love
that little.
He'd get in a run.
That little.
He would turn into John Belushi from Animal House and just get going. And we're just like, all right, we're going to chill for a minute. But
he had that Mason pause where he would stop talking, and then Jared would be like, fair enough. And then he'd be like, and I mean, what are we doing here? And we're like, oh, we're still going. Okay.
All right. So speaking of, damn it, the Renfro trade may not happen, allegedly, according to Jordan Schultz. That's what he's talking about right now in Bleacher Report Live. I want Renfro to be traded because I think he's wasted like every other offensive player is in that dumpster fire we call the Las Vegas Raiders. My biggest thing I'm looking at right now with everything from then you also got like we didn't really talk about Leonard Fournette at all. Because Matt,
he went to
I've been calling this for two. I called this in the offseason. I said Leonard Fournette to the Bills. Watch.
Yeah.
I did call it. I wish I could find the clip from it.
Did somebody get hurt?
No, it's just they just want a guy who can just get 4 yards in a cloud of dust. I mean, because James Cook is a great outside the numbers runner. But the thing is, I think they're losing. I think this kills Devin Singletary's stock. I think it's done.
Isn't Devin Singletary in the Texans though?
Wait, which? Oh, Montgomery. Which is the one that's on the Bills? They're literally the same running back.
Damian Harris.
Damian Harris. This just kills Damian Harris' stock to me.
Yeah,
this kills it because apparently, like James Cook has had such a good season so far. I think what is he top 10 in rushing still? And now you're bringing Leonard Fournette for all the punch-in yards. Done. Damian Harris is now your third running back. Congratulations. They're bringing him for that LeGarrette Blount role. They want him to literally beat the piss out of a linebacker.
So I mean, while we're talking trades, I mean, so far I'm a little disappointed. I thought they'd just get fired off. I know we have a whole nother 24 hours around that, but I mean, like, who do we see?
I'm looking at all my sources. I've already fired off a couple text messages. People I know who actually have connections because I don't have any connections, but people I know have connections. So I text them like, "Hey, what's going on? What are you hearing?"
Well, because like if I'm obviously looking at my own team, before yesterday's game, I would have told you we need a receiver. Go get, if you can't get Devontae, if you can't get, T. Higgins, you can't get a big name like that, go for the bargain guy. Go for Hunter Renfrow. Go for maybe see how much Jerry Jeudy's going to cost you. Go look at Adam Thielen. After last night, I mean, look at yesterday's game. Who didn't get hurt on either side? I mean, we lost the starting center. We couldn't put our backup center in because we lost our right guard. So our center, that was our backup, played right guard, also left the injured. So we lost our center, our right guard, our backup center. And we had a backup left guard snapping the ball at center for the rest of the game. So at this point, I think Joe Douglas needs to go get an offensive lineman. But, I mean, I bet you the Broncos have a high asking price on Jerry Jeudy for like a third year in a row, and they don't trade him again. I don't think Devontae gets dealt anymore unless they get wowed away. But I mean, I'm hoping that some pieces start flying off the board because this has been a pretty quiet deadline
I
as
think
this
what
far.
killed a lot of those teams that were sellers won this weekend. So you're going to have a few teams that are going to have blind delusion. But this will kind of lead us into the one sentence game here, and I want to talk about this quick. I talked about this before on this show and on DJ's show a little bit over High Low. Shout out to the boys. There are tiers in the NFL this season, more evident than ever. So we have you will see them in the final 6-8 teams. Philly, San Fran, KC, Miami. I'll throw in Baltimore and Detroit, and as the last of the final four, I'll chuck in. I'll throw in Jacksonville and I'll throw in Dallas. Okay, maybe Seattle. Coin flip for Dallas versus Seattle, depending on how I'm feeling that day. Either way, yeah, those are the 8 teams. Okay, and then you have 50 feet of shit. Then there's the rest of the league, where you're going to get your Atlantas, your Tampas, your Buffaloes, because I don't take Buffalo seriously. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but Buffalo just did what Philadelphia did, but Buffalo kind of was like they caught Miami lacking. Buffalo plays Miami in a couple weeks. It might be a different story. Buffalo is that one fringe team along with Dallas where I'm kind of like they might get in. My lack of respect for Buffalo is because they don't solve their biggest problem. They can't stop anybody. When it comes down to big plays, you're going to tell me that you're going to say, hey, that defense, I want you to stop Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. Stop Tua when he's got time to throw. Stop Joe Burrow. Stop Lamar Jackson. Bengals, another one that I was like, so I say there's like a kind of a mid-tier fringe where it's Buffalo, KC, Seattle. Yeah, that's it. And then it's 50 feet of shit and everything else. But the old Billy Beam analogy, right? So leading to this, I don't understand why teams that are like, I understand fringe teams, like if I'm Tampa or Atlanta or I'd say Houston, Tennessee, I keep my guys. I might deal Henry. If somebody threw me a fucking bucket of money for Derrick Henry, I'd say sure, whatever. We got Tajay Sharp. We'll go pull some running back off the street who can run hard as a short distance back, and I'll say fuck it. But besides that, I'm not dealing Hopkins. I'm gonna double down. I might go see if there's like Marvin Jones is available. Give Will Levis another security blanket guy and just go with it and see what happens. I mean, because here's the deal: Jacksonville's good, but they're not amazing. And so the AFC South still available. I mean, and honestly, the AFC is the most wide open it's been in years because the Chiefs look vulnerable, the Dolphins look vulnerable, the Ravens are good, but they can't score fast enough to beat good offenses. The Bengals look better, but I want to see multiple weeks in a row of them doing good. So my point is, if you're in the NFC, basically you're looking up at 4 teams ahead of you and just saying, well, fuck. Or 5. You have 5 teams that basically are running the NFC, and then the 6th and 7th team are kind of just It's Philly, San Fran, Detroit, Seattle, Dallas. Everything else below that, it's like whatever. It's like you're going to get the winner of the NFC South, and maybe I don't know, maybe shit, the NFC North's so fucking bad too. Maybe get New Orleans as like the 7th seed, or you get I don't fucking know, maybe Atlanta and then Tampa. That's it. So the NFC part's kind of pretty played out. We kind of know who we're getting for our first 5 teams in, and then the NFC South's going to be just a dogfight at the end of it. Because I don't take Commanders seriously. I seriously don't take the Giants seriously. So Oh, this NFL, I think teams are holding their guns too much. They should be trying to get picks because they should look at what like our boy Howie Roseman did and your boy Joe Douglas did and say, hey, listen, it's not working. Blow up and start. You might have to take a lump for a year, but we're back. So that's my thing. I think teams are getting way too hesitant. But that being said, any thoughts on this before we roll into America's second favorite game besides the six pack?
Now let's roll right into it.
All right, yeah, because we got about 45 minutes till first pitch, and I have not started twitching yet, which is a good sign. All right, 20 seconds on the clock. I'll get us rolling here. Maddie, can you do the honors and read off the games in order for the NFL?
You. Let me find it out for you.
We'll go Thursday. We'll go Thursday through Sunday night.
All right, ready when you are.
All right, timer on the clock. Go.
We are starting off with Thursday night's matchup, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Buffalo Bills. Better performance than I thought. I thought Baker played well. I really thought they had it in them. There's a lot of holding on that Hail Mary and everything. And if Chris Godwin just turned around and actually tried, might have caught it. That's all I got.
All right. Wow. 14 seconds. Not bad. All right, I'll go next. Besides the fact me falling asleep during halftime, listen, Baker and the Buccaneers are not a bad team. Buffalo is not a amazing team. This was honestly was a great game. Thursday Night Football got it right. Holding on that last call, but fuck it. It just kills bettors, and I didn't bet in the game because baseball rules. Chris, you're up.
I just want to say about this game, like you said, Thursday Night Football actually delivered a game that wasn't Jacksonville and Tennessee. Yes, the Bills barely beat the Bucs, although it was a good game. I do see a lot of promise with Baker, and I do think they can win their division.
Nice job, rookie. All right, Matt, who's up next?
All right, we got the Patriots and the Miami Dolphins. A game that went as expected. I figured the Dolphins would run away with it, especially being at home. Mac Jones is continuing to not progress. I think Bill Belichick really might have broken him. You hate to see it, right? Even though you love to see it.
There you go. You had 5 seconds left on the clock there. All right, I'll go. I love Mike McDaniel saying that Jalen Ramsey disappointed me. He got a kick field goal instead of a kick six. Yeah, the Patriots are shot. Bill retire. Patriots fans, football gods came to reap what they sowed. They gave you 2 decades of winning. This is just what happens. A long line of losing. All right, intern, go.
Not gonna knock the Dolphins. They play great, but I will knock the Patriots because they ran faster to the locker room than Mike McDaniel runs post game.
Oof. And he comes with the first zinger. I like it. It's time to go. All right, Maddie, next up.
Ooh, we have the New York Jets and the New York Football Giants.
I'll take one of this one. The punt bowl. There was more punts in this game since 2003. 20 fucking years of punts. And listen, Zach Wilson needs 20 seconds, and he's still more effective than Daniel Jones. Woof! All right, Maddie, you can go now.
Oh, probably the worst football game I've ever seen in my life. The MVP of that game was Thomas Morstead for having 4 or 5 punts inside the 5-yard line. To sum it up, who didn't get hurt in that game, like on either side? And Zach Wilson, 24 seconds, no problem. You'll love to see it. Jets win in overtime.
Just in the nick of time. Intern, go.
The battle of midlife. Probably just as worse.
The big recycling bin.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
The Jets squeaked out a game on their home turf. Didn't know if they were home or not, just because they play in the same stadium. But Tyrod Taylor, phenomenal game, 4 for 7, 8 yards. Go Giants! But
shout out Tommy DeVito, negative -1 yard.
Jets football.
Oh my god, that was so bad. That is the pinnacle of what Giants football has turned into post Eli Manning.
Danny
All right. Who's up next, Mr. Urdazzo?
We've got the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Pittsburgh Steelers, a 20-10 matchup, which resulted. This was the game I thought that the Steelers would come back down to earth. They are not a good team. They have a good defense. They do not have a good offense. Kenny Pickett is very inconsistent. I think this really brought them down to earth, and this just told us that Mitchell Trubisky still sucks, even off the bench.
Yeah. This game just told me Travis Etienne is a great fantasy running back, and that's about it. Oh, and Josh Allen, the defensive end, is a absolute monster. Yeah, no, I watched about 45 seconds total of this game, and that was just red zone highlights. So thank you to Scott Hansen, the GOAT. Chris, go.
Looks like small hands couldn't cut it this time, but the Jags continue to jag off all over Pittsburgh. Mitchy Bitchy came in and just did what he did.
He's getting personal now.
Do you just like when you have that like 40 seconds of time? Do you just think of like zingers and you just start writing them down, or you just flow them right off
Yes,
the head?
anything that rhymes,
He's
and then
just trying to get us to go.
He's like, all right, I have 40 seconds left. What can I think? All right, Steelers, Mitchell Trubisky, Mitchy Bitchy.
Dude, I wrote down a
Mitchy
bunch.
Bitchy.
Like 20 seconds, like literally, I'm sorry, like a few minutes ago.
I love calling him Booty Bisky. That's my favorite one.
Booty Bisky.
Next up, the Tennessee Titans and the Atlanta Falcons. I may have to start putting mayonnaise in my coffee.
Will Levis is literally every single ex-boyfriend's revenge fantasy. Fuck yeah, Will. You go get it. All right, Matty, you're up.
Listen, his performance is what I hope Zach's performance would have been after he was found, messing around with his mom's friend and everything. But listen, I don't know, man. This man just came out slaying 4 touchdowns like it was nothing. I mean, he pretty much matched Zach Wilson's touchdown total for the year minus -1. But I might have to put mayonnaise in my coffee now if that's how I'm going to perform after that. Forget the half and half.
Can be recorded for social media.
Forget the half and half. If I'm going to perform like that with mayonnaise in the coffee, I might have to. I'll be the best worker ever.
I'm that guy who literally doesn't put anything in his coffee. So to me, that just seems like horrifying. But the only thing I've ever put in my coffee, it's like a creamer or anything like that. I put like what is it? The grass fed butter. I did that a couple times. It's not bad actually.
I like the almond milk or the oat milk.
I can't do anything milk, man, because once it starts curdling. All right, intern, finish us strong.
Will Levis tossed the Burger King brand deal and picked up the Taco Bell brand deal. Just delivered one last dance for Derrick Henry and D Hop, who are probably on the way out. So good win for Levis and the boys.
There you go. All right, man.
I'm gonna be really upset if a giant trade happens like 3 seconds after we log
That's
off.
how it is.
Every time.
It either happens mid-show or after the show. It's how it always is with the corner booth. We have that curse.
And next up is the second worst football game you probably could have watched yesterday. That would be the Carolina Panthers versus the Houston Texans. The battle of Stroud and Bryce Young. I still like CJ Stroud a lot more than Bryce Young right now, especially in the NFL. Shout out to the Panthers for getting their first victory. There's really nothing you can say because next to the Jets and Giants, this is the other second worst football game you probably could have watched.
Listen, I watched all of 14 seconds of this game because even Scott Hansen was making jokes about how bad this game was offensively. Holy shit. I still think Stroud is the superior quarterback. The Panthers are absolute booty cheeks. Next. All right, Chris.
Yeah, God, the game that nobody wanted to talk about, 15-13. It literally looked like if you played MLB The Show and you were just playing on rookie. But Dameon Pierce, one of the biggest letdowns in fantasy this year with 12 carries and 46 yards. So not really much to say.
I had to trade for running backs because his ass, motherfucker. All right, next up.
Next up is a game that was over at halftime, but they still decided to play anyways. That would be the Dallas Cowboys and Los Angeles Rams. This game was so bad. My father-in-law, who is a big Cowboys fan, was upstairs watching the game while Bianca and I were downstairs watching the Jets-Giants game. And he came down at halftime and said, all right, guys, I'm going to watch your game. I was like, oh, why? What's wrong with yours? He's like, did you see the score? And I look, and it was like 33-9.5. He's like, yeah, this game's done. I don't need to watch it anymore. Let's see what you guys got going on. That's how bad it was. People stopped watching it at the halftime.
I think this is my upset pick.
It was so bad. He was calling all of his friends that were Rams fans at halftime and giving them shit for losing, and there was still a whole half of the game left. That's how crazy the score was.
This reminded me of was it Eagles Titans last year.
Yeah. Oh yeah. AJ Brown fucking went off.
Well, speaking of which, isn't that the next game we're about to talk about?
No, we got a couple more before then, but we'll get there. We're getting there. We're almost there. I don't know if anybody else has to say anything about this game.
Yeah,
really not much.
The Rams are dead to me.
Stafford hurt. Is he hurt again?
No, who cares? He hurt my feelings in my wallet.
He's gonna retire. Oh,
Staph,
man. I spoke too
Stafford,
soon. Staph
stinks.
infection.
Staph
Jesus
infection
Christ.
stinks.
Oh
We've
my
got
God.
another snoozer. The Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers, who were supposed to have the savior at quarterback because he sat behind Aaron Rodgers for 3 years, in which he had 2 MVP seasons, looks like absolute dog shit, while Zach Wilson is still winning the Jets games that has him above 500. Anyways, not to be too petty, the Vikings still won, and they didn't have Kirk Cousins. How do you lose to the Vikings still without Justin Jefferson and Kirk Cousins? I don't know. Cam Akers also scored. I have no words.
As somebody who literally used to make memes about Kirk Cousins, I felt bad watching him pop his Achilles like a bad piece of bubble wrap, but it sucks. This game sucked. I have Justin Jefferson, my fantasy team, as the number one overall pick, and I want to punch a hole in a wall because of it. So yeah,
Yeah, the Jordan hate era continues. The Packers lost another one. Um, Kirk actually played decent, and then he gets hurt, which stinks because like I'm not a big Kirk Cousins guy, but he's not a guy I hate off the field. He's actually I watched the QB show, and he's a really good dude. And I know like a bunch of teammates were really upset after seeing what happened to him. But
that was actually really good to see though. Like that, like people actually like were really upset because like you
yeah,
hate seeing when like a player gets hurt and everyone's just like, yeah, whatever. Like when Earl Thomas got hurt for the Seahawks,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
uh,
that wasn't a good situation. All right, Maddie, what's next?
We have the New Orleans Saints and the Indianapolis Colts, who the Saints actually found out what offense was because Derek Carr actually threw for 310 yards and 2 touchdowns. So there's 5 touchdowns in total for the Saints. 4 of them were scored by quarterbacks. I still think Taysom Hill is a gadget quarterback. Taysom Hill had 2 rushing touchdowns. Derek Carr threw for 2 more. Kamara had the other one. The Colts stay competitive without Anthony Richardson, so shout out to them. But Saints finally get a victory with a big offensive game.
There you go. My
Oh.
hatred of the Saints is well documented. But Alvin Kamara just like proved he's still like a top 10 running back because I watched him catch a ball, break 4 tackles, break another tackle, and stumble in the end zone. I'm like, yep, that's Kamara, just doing his thing.
yeah. Derek Carr showed that after post game DUI speeches that he can still drive. Know what I mean? Last name's Carr.
Jesus Christ!
I like how you had to specify, not I mean last
Oh
name
my God!
Carr.
Hang on, Kevin. Oh Jesus! All right,
All right, man. The game you've been waiting for, your Philadelphia Eagles versus
you
the
go first.
Washington Commies. Jared, you're up.
AJ Brown is him. He is a top 2 receiver. Stop it. Enough.
Might be
like
one.
the respect he gets is irritating. He's a top 2 receiver. The only person who gets number 1 is on IR right now. Stop it. Enough. I'm done with this shit. Also, Julio Jones catching that tutty was just like made my heart melt.
Probably the most exciting game that I saw this weekend. I mean, it was just like the original one from early in the year. It was just a back-to-back scoring game, and it was fun to watch. We all knew the Eagles were going to win, but it was just fun to watch the Commanders give some sort of competition to the Eagles. But the Eagles reign supreme, and unlike their little friends over in the Bay, they're 7-1.
In turn, roll with it.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Eagles beat Washington, the national bird. The United States is a bald eagle. So, I mean, do we own Washington? Or is that our second state?
I mean, I don't think I want to own Washington. It's kind of smelly. There's a lot of shitty people living there, but
We
yeah. No.
we can probably revamp it into something nice.
Can we turn into a parking lot? No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I say that out loud. I mean, Chris, you had a little bit of a psychopath look. You were looking at the camera like this. You're like,
Oh yeah, I was looking at the score. I'm sorry. Yeah, I forgot my camera's still on. Too,
I'm
so-
like, is my man thinking like he's trying to kill somebody or that shit?
Yeah.
Keep it classy. Put a Chipotle
Halloween
in there or
season.
something.
Yeah, we'll just make us giant strip mall. We'll call it the Hall of Inside Trading.
Ooh, the Tommy Plaza.
Nancy
Next
Pelosi,
one up.
the Nancy Pelosi School of Investing.
Oof.
Oh.
Oof. Nah, I ain't going there.
Go talk to them separately.
All right, we are almost at the end. Next one up, we have the Seattle Seahawks and the Cleveland Browns, a Seahawks team that barely beat PJ Walker. It came down to the last couple of minutes, but they finally got it done. And, listen, PJ Walker's playing tough despite the role he has to play right now. Shout out to the Seahawks. They got fleeced by not one but two New York teams in trades this year, or in the last handful of years. Jamal Adams, Leonard Williams. Shout out Seattle.
I think Leonard Williams actually is going to be really good for that defense. I'll go quickly. The turnover ball ended with Gino and the boys catching a dub. JSN is honestly a very good receiver in that offense. Really happy for him. Also, PJ Walker might be better than just Deshaun Watson right now. Just saying.
He keeps him in the game more.
In turn.
Geno Stakes takes down Temple alum. I guess I can call this another battle of Philadelphia. PJ Walker's just like me. I come so close in a sports game or sports bet and can't get the job done. So, Hawks won a pretty big game, to be honest.
That game was so fucking ugly. Yeah. The best part was that I saw more turnovers from that game than touchdowns. That was what made me so happy.
I put back on the Jets and Giants when I was watching that one.
Oh, I was playing Starfield by that point. I was done. I had it on my side screen, on my little my side TV. I had Red Zone on, and I was playing Starfield. I was like, listen, I love all these games, but the Cincinnati. We're going to talk about Cincinnati and what's called in a second. But none of the games besides Philadelphia and the last overtime drive of the Jets-Giants game and the Philadelphia-Washington game, every other game was just I'm like, this is just lame as fuck. Not a great week for football in general.
All right, we got almost done. We got the Cardinals and the Ravens, a game that didn't make a lot of sense to me because Lamar Jackson only had 17 yards rushing. So you think, oh, he's going to step back and actually play quarterback. He threw for 157 yards. And they somehow still won 31-24. Josh Dobbs, terrible game, apparently is now being benched, and Kyler Murray is not going to be playing next week. So I don't know who they have on their roster. I don't know who's going to be playing.
Chris is starting quarterback for the next week.
Right.
So I don't even know. They might have to go call Drew Stanton back and see if he wants to back him up again. But that's all I got.
I want Uncle Rico back in this shit.
The stash, baby. It's stash.
And you know what's sad? They can't even fire sell because who do you want on the Arizonas? That's it. I don't want fucking Marquise Brown or Trey McBride or fucking Rondale Moore. I would just give me fucking
Zaven Collins.
All their talents on the defense, and they still suck on defense.
Well, Jonathan Gannon's a terrible coach. All right. I saw a ref move a football back. That was proof that some refs break games. My favorite part of this whole thing, it was totally out of context. So I don't even know where it was from, but yeah, this game was fucking terrible. Next.
What's frustrating about this game is that Gus Edwards had another monster day. And my entire year in fantasy was picking up Gus Edwards, dropping him for Justice Hill, dropping Justice Hill, picking up Gus Edwards, and not knowing who to start for the Ravens running back. So,
it's like Eagles wide receivers. You're fucked either way. Oh crazy. My God. I am so sorry.
Right. Coming back on the back end of everything, we've got the Chiefs and the Broncos, a game that I don't even know how to describe it. I mean, the Broncos finally got a W.
Let Chris go first.
You go.
ABBA once said, you have a song called Gimme Gimme. So I got Gimme Gimme Gimme, a loser pick intern. I fucking picked these bums as my goddamn gimme, not knowing that Mahomes had a flu game. Not knowing what was going on. Undefeated record versus the Broncos, thinking this one's going to be different. Nope. Broncos country. Let's ride.
I'm so sorry.
I'm very grateful that I didn't put down a flu game parlay because Mahomes had 241 yards with 2 interceptions. I was going to take the over on 300 yards. I was going to take 3+ touchdowns. I was going to go wild like this man was going to have an MJ flu game. Thankfully, I didn't because he didn't have that. It was pretty bad. And the Broncos, somehow Russell Wilson threw for 3 touchdowns on 114 passing yards. Wow. What a fucking terrible game. I'm so happy I didn't watch that.
Future's next rap album is going to be terrible.
Oh.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm just making a future joke at this point because there's not much else. It's like shit. Jerry Judy caught a touchdown, did the most sus touchdown dance of all time. So there it is.
Weird.
Yeah, it was weird. All right, next.
We've got the Bengals and the 49ers, a game that I picked.
Fuck
Bengals to
Brock
win
Purdy. Fuck
solely.
49ers. Costing me fucking money and costing Matt, giving Matt a 7-point lead over my dumbass. Yo, fuck San Francisco. They're up there with New Orleans and Dallas now. I'm fucking done with them. The Giants, congratulations, you're back to fourth now.
Brock O'Clock, George Skittles, and Chris the intern McCaffrey.
Brock 19 out here just slinging bullets to the other team.
I mean, I only took the Bengals to win because it was supposed to be Sam Darnold playing, and I saw Purdy in the game, and I was like, "Oh
Sam
man,
Darnold might have won that game, bro."
I was like, no.
Fuck,
Purdy
is not a good quarterback.
I like Sam
telling you
Darnold
all
in
this.
this
Not you
system.
guys, but like the fans, like or the people that actually listen to this fucking show.
It's because it's the most stacked offense in football. It's why he can just do something.
Yeah, everyone's like, "Oh, Jalen's gonna say." I'm like, "Yeah," but everyone forgets like Debo is a Pro Bowler. Ayuk's a top, I'd say 30 receiver. McCaffrey's a top 2 running back, and George Kittle a top 3 tight end.
Could Ayuk be another name we could look out for as a trade candidate? Because I think he's in a contract year.
Nah, they ain't gonna deal him.
He's not T Higgins.
They'll let it ride.
Anyways, the last game on the list, we finally reached the end. We have the Chargers and the Chicago Bears. A game where I don't know who that was, but how did they drop that fucking bomb from Tyler Badgett in the end zone on a perfectly wide open 50-yard pass?
I'll be on the practice squad next week. I don't know.
That's going to be cut by tomorrow. And I don't know. You fell on your own in the end zone, and he bounced it right off your chest. That wouldn't have done anything.
Off his ass cheeks, too. That was the best part about it. It literally somehow... Yeah. He tried to bobble it. It went between his legs, hit his ass, hit the ground. I was like, yo, you got to just hate your shit at that point if you fucking drop that.
Well, shout out to the Chargers for finally getting a win. Brandon Staley survives for another week, and now they're going to go into MetLife Stadium for the Monday night game with some high hopes that they're going to win because they beat up the fucking Bears. So
that fucking dude is going to find a way to lose to your Jets.
I hope so.
I'm sure he will. He's about as dumb as Ryan Day when it comes to X's and O's.
Bears and Chargers, another, I guess, terrible Sunday night football matchup. Not sure how the Bears keep getting primetime games.
They thought Justin Fields was playing, buddy. That's what happens.
Oh yeah, me too. I was a believer. Justin Sherbert showed up.
I love that. Holy shit.
Just interesting.
Oh my god, that's fucking great.
That was all the games on the list. The only one that's left is tonight's the Lions and the Raiders, which I don't see how they're
Lions by a fucking million.
I don't see how there's
tonight.
All right, so fellas, we're gonna do a lot. Hey Matt, you ready for the first this year's edition of Jared's live Monday Night Football bets presented by DraftKings?
There we go.
This is why this official sponsor, Belly Up Sports. Promo code is on the Belly Up Sports website. I will drop the link later. So obviously, we have the Diamondbacks and the Rangers. First innings already underway, so go Snakes. We're going to Monday Night Football, though. Game kicks off in 12 minutes. I am going to take an alternate money line because you know what? Because fuck this shit. I am going to take, wait for it, Lions minus 15.5. All right, touchdown scores. Fellas, how are we feeling? We feeling Amon-Ra, Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta. Each of you get a pick.
I'm going
to take
Yeah, you want to shoot?
I want to take Laporta just because I have him in fantasy, but if I have to choose a safe lockdown anytime touchdown person, it's hard for me to go with anybody else but Amon-Ra right now.
Okay, Amon-Ra and intern.
I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go Laporta just because I know Amon-Ra is battling that illness. I know he's playing tonight, but we see
on my fantasy team. I fucking love it.
Well, Laporta averages 3 receptions a game for about 50 yards. So if you want to do both, I mean, I think it's safe to say I think you can get 50 yards receiving from Laporta on 3.5 receptions, something like that.
All right, last 2. All right, golf passing yards. How high?
He averages 271 a game, and I think his line's 262.5. I'm taking the over.
So 300.
Oh, 300.
We're
Oh, you're going
rolling
bigger.
deep.
Oh, yeah, 300. Yeah. Who's going to
right.
stop the fucking ball?
All right, and finally, Jimmy Garoppolo interceptions intern. We got over under a half.
I think Hoyer's playing tonight.
Hoyer?
Oh, even better. Take the over.
I'm taking the over.
They don't have Hoyer because DraftKings apparently is behind the times. All right, fine. We'll do a different one. All right. Amon-Ra St. Brown, total receptions.
I think he gets over 4.5.
I was going to say the exact same line.
I'd say 5.
They're giving me like the alternate. They're not giving the alternate receptions, which makes me. Oh no, that's receiving yards. Yeah, they're only giving me the reception line, which is 7.5 is the over under.
That's
a high number.
I mean, he can. I think he averages 8 or 9 a game, but that's still a tough.
Yeah, I don't like that a lot at all. I'm gonna roll with something different. I'm going to take rushing props. Well, whatever. It wasn't going to give me it, so I'm just going to put $1 and I'll say fuck it. Because it was the DraftKings was starting to glitch out because everyone's starting to put their draft picks in. And then because I have a free no sweat bet, courtesy of the good people over at DraftKings, I'm going to put one more. I'm going to double down on my Lions bet as we close out the show tonight. Go Snakes, by the way. I'm going to take the Lions at plus 17 because fuck it, that's why.
I mean, I don't hate it. I mean, if you're gonna have a matchup where it could be extremely lopsided, I think this is one of those games. I don't see how the Raiders are going to not only score 17 points tonight. I don't see how they're gonna stop Goff or anybody. I think this should be a field day on paper for that entire offense.
Yeah, I mean, I don't also like Jared Goff's numbers at home compared to the road are, a lot of times they make a difference. And plus, they have a backup quarterback playing tonight, Hoyer. I know he's been playing a while, but still, it's his like 15th team. So he's kind of like just a hit or miss guy nowadays. And he's probably going to miss because, again, they're in Detroit. And
that place is fucking rocking.
The jungle is going to be rocking, dude. The Hutchinson.
Also, because after last week, they need to kick somebody's head in, and unfortunately, the Raiders are that team.
Yeah, and they're always like on the butt end of things too. The Raiders are just always unlucky. Devontae Adams needs to get out now.
The Michael Penix or Drake May sweepstakes or Caleb Williams sweepstakes is alive and well in Las Vegas. Anyway, gentlemen, game 3 is kicked off. Monday Football is in about 5 minutes. Shout out to our sponsors, Muller Bros, DraftKings, the good people at Candidates, and of course, Belly Media and SeatGeek. We appreciate you guys for coming by. Guys, any other thoughts before we go tonight? Any surprise trades we think we could see?
I'm gonna say go Snakes. Number 1. Number 2,
classy gentleman.
Wouldn't be surprised if Howie pulls off another big one tomorrow.
Like Kenny Moore?
Could be.
He's got Bradley Roby for a bag of peanuts, and he hasn't played us. He played one game. Here's a throw in. Dino Hunter, he's going somewhere.
I could be.
I don't know. Listen, if he went to Philadelphia, just book it. But I doubt it. Maddie. Yeah, right. Me and Chris gonna be jogging down Broad Street shirtless. Right. All right, Maddie. Anything else you got?
Still holding out hope for a Devontae Adams eventual Aaron Rodgers reunion. I don't have a lot of confidence that he gets. I mean, if they get absolutely embarrassed and he has another post-game press conference and he gives them all shit, they might deal him, which I'm perfectly fine with. Go call me up and ask me what I want. Other than that, if I had to do a sneaky, nobody's talking about this kind of guy, like I wouldn't be surprised if either like a Marquise Brown or a T. Higgins were to get dealt. I mean, they're already talking about are they going to or not going to extend T. Higgins. I think he's in his contract year. It makes a lot of sense for them to move on from him if they want to. It all depends on what they want to do. I mean, Tyler Boyd is somebody people sleep on him a lot. He's underrated for a slot receiver. I don't know. We'll see. But those are a couple names that I'm thinking of. I'm thinking mostly offensive right now.
There you go. All right, ladies and gents, that wraps up for the Cool Podcast. I am your host, Jerry Clem. That's Matt Ordazzo. That is our intern, Chris Lapoof. I pronounced that correctly, right?
It's lip off, but it sounds
Lip
cool when
off.
you said that.
Lapoof. I like.
Yeah.
There we go. That's your
French.
stage name. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you stopping by. Corner Booth pregame will be here Thursday. Kickoff at 7 for Thursday Night Football, which I don't even know who it is at this fucking point. It's just going to be something fucking atrocious. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, have a good week. We will see you Thursday. The recording of this show will, of course, be live on Apple Podcasts, Spotify in about, I'd say, 3-4 hours, depending on how good or how bad this Diamondbacks game goes. Other than that, appreciate you stopping by. See you Thursday.
Embrace the chaos.
Hell fucking yeah, brother.